Wow. SummerSlam 21 is in the books.
Summerfest.
And Nick, where to start? This show had a little bit of everything. It was all over the place. And I guess we begin, Nick, with the, I guess it's the weekend of returns, huh? CM Punk shows up on AEW Friday night. SummerSlam is Saturday night. Two major returns on this show. Becky Lynch back from after having a kid. We will get into that. That may be the talk of the night. But then she might have got one up at the very end. John Cena, Roman Reigns. Roman wins, and the music hits. The Beast Incarnate comes walking out, Nick. Let's start right there at the finish. What do you think about the match? And then more specifically, we are getting that Brock as a good guy against Roman with Paul Heyman.
Story I thought had been solid going into this with Cena and Roman. Not great, though. I think I think maybe I had my hope set a little higher for a better angle. Yep. Still was looking forward to beating this. I'm seeing this. John Cena. Is his shirt new?
Brand new tonight. Mario 3.
God, I'm gonna order one. That was the coolest freaking shirt.
Yeah,
16 up.
16 up. Yeah.
That was great, man.
The only problem I had with that, Nick, though, is it's a brand new shirt tonight, and I'm like, who's 16 up? He's not going to win 17 now. You just made this shirt tonight, but it was a very
I didn't even
cool
think about
shirt.
that, but I love, classic game. I loved it.
Yes.
Cool image of the bloodline coming out. They all stop, hold up the titles. I thought that was really great. Match got off to a slow start. I felt there might have been one or two too many small packages.
Right.
We get it. We were playing up. I get it. But okay, I can get it. After that, though, I thought the match got going well, and I kept trying to tell myself in my head, this is John Cena. He really hasn't worked a real match in years. Okay, I mean, other than the ones he's had on Dark. So this guy has not been on there. He's not a spring chicken anymore, and he's not going to probably do a whole lot. He's got a career, right? An acting career. This is more part-time now for him. His real job is Hollywood. But I think they delivered a really good match. I didn't think Cena had a shot in hell coming in this match until the AA off the top rope. There was a second where I was like, nope, don't you dare do this. And Roman kicks out. I loved Roman talking through the match, talking to the camera. I thought that was Buff Bagwell-esque. Mommy, yes. I'm not doing so good. Great. And I thought it was this is my WWE. Great finish. Spears him, puts him down.
You're the man now, dog.
And I can't lie. I am not a Lesnar fan, but it was kind of cool to hear the music after the match, man, because this is the one guy that I could still see Lesnar fighting because of so many things. Paul Heyman is now with Roman Reigns. How does that play into the story going forward?
Yep.
And to be honest, I would bring Brock out. I'm the guy that you could never really beat. I'm the guy they wanted to go with. You're the guy they had to go with. He has didn't get to put him over at WrestleMania whenever Seth cashed in. Then we all thought Roman was going to win the rematch at one of the next WrestleManias when he fought him. Brock out of nowhere beats him again. I think Brock beat him in a steel cage match in Saudi Arabia because he went through the wall first. Yep. I know Roman has a win or two over him as well, but I think Brock's wins were on bigger stages. So this sets up, it's something to do. You needed someone for Roman to fight, right?
He's got nobody on the roster, and we expect The Rock at Survivor Series and then building toward Mania. Well, shoot, that is a long way away. That is a long ways away. Yep.
I see this one at Crown Jewel. I think remember the Prince books this. I got some matches I think that are going to happen there. I think this is going down at Crown Jewel.
It very well could. I like the match. I don't think it's the greatest match. The build, like you said, was kind of tough for me. because it wasn't as good as we thought it was going to be. And then this whole Cena's a 16-time champ. Why are they treating him like he's the Brooklyn Brawler trying to beat Hulk Hogan back in the day? Like they were acting like he needed a fluke to win, to get that 1, 2, 3. It needed to be a roll up, or when he put him through the table, which was awesome. They're like, oh my gosh, he has a chance. He has a chance. Well, it's John freaking Cena. Yeah, he has a chance. I didn't like how they made it seem like he was some chump. I didn't like that, but I liked the finish, even though it was kind of anticlimactic. It wasn't like a big build, but the right guy won. He won clean. I thought that was great. Didn't expect at the end, to be honest. I did not expect Lesnar's music to hit because we already got the big return earlier in the night with Becky Lynch. So I did not expect that. He's got a new look. So I don't know how long ago this was in the works because he does not look like he's been working out like a guy who would be in the ring all the time. He's a little slimmer, not as cut. He's got that ponytail thing going for him, but it was pretty cool. I really didn't want to see these two fight again, but when he came out, I was like, this works.
Yep.
This works. I'm cool with this.
And who else, like I said, who would he fight next?
Right.
Who would Roman go to next? This is going to carry you, hopefully, to Survivor Series.
Yep.
You would hope with these two. This is big enough. Yeah, I'm excited. First time in a while, I'm excited to see Lesnar. I'm usually not a Lesnar guy, just because I'm not a
be a good guy. We haven't seen him be a good guy in a long time.
Be interesting how he talks because we have seen him with that mic and it's not pretty good. We'll see.
It's got to be behind the scenes packages cut up.
Maybe Paul Heyman talking for the two of them. Almost, back and forth. Probably a lot of Paul Heyman in this story.
I would think so. Pretty good main event, though. Again, I don't know that it reached what we all thought it might hope it would be. Still pretty good main event.
I thought it delivered. Yeah. I think that would be the best. Was it a 5-star? No. What I said, better than a 3, not a 4. Is what I'll give it. I thought it was a good match.
And they did. I had never thought for 1 second Roman was going to lose until he was doing the cocky thing so much that I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing this so much, it's going to backfire on him, isn't it? I was a little worried there for a second, but that didn't happen. Let's jump back to the other big surprise of the night. And this one, man, there is some polarizing stuff going on here. Becky Lynch finally returns. What happened was, so last week, Bianca and Sasha just weren't at any of the house shows, any of the live events. And they would come out and say, unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, they are not here tonight. Well, that happened. Bianca did show up on SmackDown. Sasha was still not there. Rumors came out earlier today that she was not cleared. We assume it's COVID related, but you don't know. So could be anything. So Bianca comes out and they tell the crowd, yeah, Sasha's can't make it today. And they bring out Carmella. And everybody's just like, oh, man, holy crap. Like, people are getting kind of mad, even though they know. But, man, they paid good money to see this rematch. And so they're a little mad. All of a sudden, the man's music hits. Becky Lynch is back for the first time since the day after Mania when she won the belt over a year ago. She comes back, and we get our big comeback. We get our big surprise everybody wanted. Some people say it was because they were trying to match last night on AEW, Nick. What do you think when this happened, when she came out? What were you thinking? What do you think about it? And then what happened as they end up fighting? Bianca and Becky, that is.
I was with everybody else. I'm like, what a major letdown. It's Carmella. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I wish they would have just been honest and said she got COVID, because I think a lot of more people would have accepted the situation. Right. They're doing what they had to do. But then I realized why they didn't just come out and say that, right. Because they switched it up. Now Becky's coming. Pop's huge. I'm happy to see her. Certain like 99% of wrestling fans are happy to see her. Gets in the ring, goes. I'm like, but then I'm starting to think this match can't happen right now. I'm like, what are they going to do? Face versus face. Becky can't win. It's going to kill Bianca.
We've been saying that too, Nick, because
Yes.
people have been talking about it. I'm like, well, she has to go for the Raw title, right? She can't go after Bianca because Bianca's the golden goose. They just put the strap on at Mania. They can't have face and knock her down because Becky's not going to lose, but Seth is on SmackDown, so you want to keep them together. We've been talking about this, that you can't have Bianca lose, but then Nick, the way they had her lose.
Bogus!
I mean, Becky somehow goes heel and cheap shots her with a handshake. And then, I mean, a new modified, whatever they're calling it, Becky bottom, rock bottom, or whatever the heck it is.
The manhandle.
Squashes this woman who you've built as a monster. She's carrying people upstairs. She's doing all these massive power moves, and she just gets squashed. I mean, reminiscence of the honky tonk man, but I don't think was as good. I mean, the Warrior that we were ready for him to go, Becky's already over.
Right.
Like, she didn't need this. I mean, you just murdered Bianca. I'm sitting there as she's walking away going, girl, get back in that ring and whoop her butt. I cheap shot her, turn heel, do something. Don't just walk down the aisle and cry. Yep, she's just going to walk down the aisle and cry and walk out.
Well, Nick, and the argument here is going to be maybe with the booking that she wasn't prepared, she was caught off guard, and it's not really her fault she lost. But I don't think they thought about the consequences of that because you Kofi'd Bianca, first of all. Remember when Brock beat him in 8 seconds? This is what they did here. People were starting to get behind this girl. But the other thing is you played with people's emotions too much because you bring Becky Lynch out and you're like, holy crap, I'm going to get to see something that I didn't pay for, that I didn't know I was going to see. They told you were going to get to watch Becky Lynch wrestle, and then she didn't. So not only are they mad because you screwed Bianca, you just told me I was getting a Becky Lynch match, and 30 seconds later, I'm not getting a Becky Lynch match. They did this same thing, and actually same move, remember, with The Rock at WrestleMania 32. Remember when he was out there with the Wyatt family? He ripped his pants off. The place went absolutely ape because they thought they were going to get to see The Rock wrestle. And he just goes, boom, 1, 2, 3, the match is over. This is literally the same exact thing. And then people were mad because you toyed with their emotions. And if you go online, dude, people are pissed.
I don't blame them. In Friday, you're putting Bianca, this girl, she is not over yet. She was getting there.
Right.
You're putting her against now the top girl. They're gonna cheer Becky. What do you do with this girl? This was a terrible move. I had messaged you earlier in the day. Involve Asuka in this somehow. Yeah. You know, she was the girl she had to surrender. Maybe Becky's music hits, distracts Asuka. Bianca rolls her up. Becky doesn't need to come back and go right for the belt. People just want to see her. Maybe you could have just slightly moved Asuka to SmackDown and they could have had a little feud or something. I don't know. This was a bad move and I think a real bad setback for Bianca Belair's career now.
Well, and I think it's not going to like murder Becky's career, but people are mad at her now too.
Well, she didn't.
They're mad at her. How did you botch Becky Lynch's return?
You asked me excellent question.
Like you made, and again, that's the problem with putting her in there with Bianca to begin with. Because even if they did have a 10-minute match, there were going to be people who were mad because you had Bianca lose.
Right.
And now you squash her.
Yeah.
There will be some backlash to Becky on this. And I had a few friends who were at the show in Las Vegas, and they said people are booing when she's leaving, when she's walking back down the aisle. People are booing. They're not happy.
I'm not going to hate her because she didn't write it. It's not like she showed up today and said, I'm squashing her. Give me the belt or I walk. I'm sure that's not how it went down, folks. I mean, it was creative. They made a bad call. She did what she was told. I understand why people are upset. I'm not happy either. We're going to have to wait for Friday to see if they can salvage this. I don't know.
Well, and the thing is, though, like, Becky's not going to lose anytime soon. So if you do that thing where you're like, all right, I was caught off guard, I wasn't ready, whatever, she's still not going to lose.
Unless the only thing, maybe just thinking, they brought her back early. She can't really work. That's why they did the squash match. I don't know. Maybe she's hurt, maybe something. Bianca flips, injures her, gets the belt back in a quick rematch, and Becky's out for a period of time. I'm just thinking of how, again, I'm not saying that's good.
Yeah, I've heard people say that maybe she's not in ring shape.
I don't know what you do. It's going to be
I don't believe that, though.
Me neither.
Cena wasn't in ring shape either. I know he's been working house shows, but
I mean, me neither. But yeah, you're in a hole right now. I'm curious to see what Friday brings.
Yeah, very interesting there. One of the definitely that was the head scratcher of the night for me. That was definitely the head scratcher of the night. Why job her, man? I mean, unless you got some legit reason, like you said, why job the girl? You can't go 5 minutes. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning of the night now, Nick. Pre-show, Big E and Corbin are fighting kind of over his briefcase. Corbin stole it the other day. I got nothing on this. Big E wins. He wins clean. He should have. I got nothing much to say at all about that.
The match was good. I had the same thing written here. The match was fine. I just didn't care. Corbin's gimmick is terrible. I was hoping this would end tonight. I mean, his gimmick is not only now he's broke, which no one's buying.
Right.
No one.
They didn't pay him tonight.
Yeah. He's not. He's just wrestling for free.
Only one guy has that crown. Does that mean nobody else is making any money in WWE? It's just stupid.
Apparently so. And he's grabbing people's cases. What? So can I jump the rail and grab the money in the bank and cash it in? Anybody can just do this. It's dumb. It's as stupid as when Raven was stealing belts in WCW. I mean, it's dumb. I don't know. It was a match. Didn't care about it. The match was fine. I'm with you.
They did let John Cena steal Finn Balor's contract, though, and put his name on it. They did do that, which, by the way, you brought up, or I believe it was one of us brought up. I was worried Finn Balor was going to interfere in the main event tonight and cost Cena the main. That. I was worried that that's what was going to happen because he stole the contract and signed his name. Luckily, that didn't. And Roman went over clean. Just going back to that real quick. First match of the night. Set looked cool, Nick. The gym looked cool.
Awesome.
The gym. The stadium looked really good. They say 51,000 people were there. Loved the setup. There was no real stage this year. They kind of just came out of like a little wall. No pyro or anything.
I like the curve. I don't know why. I like the curve. It was different. Something new. I liked it.
I like when they do things because you can go any Monday night or Friday night. No matter what arena you're in, it looks exactly the same. Mm-hmm. I like when it looks different.
The pay-per-views should look different. They should be different. They should feel different.
Yep. So we get first match of the night is for the tag team title. Raw, AJ and Almas taking on RK Bro. RK Bro wins it. AJ jobs again. This guy can't seem to win. It is an RKO, though, to win it. And those guys are over, man. They really have something here with the odd couple with those two guys. They are over.
The right team won. I'm just saying, I talked to you about this earlier. This needs to slow build. I loved the what did I write here? Great. I wanted to get on that. Great backflip to a death drop by AJ Styles on the outside. He's freaking awesome. Good, man. Solid match. Good finished. Loved Orton showing the admiration at the end. I want to see more of this. And then they did a promo or a backstage interview. Orton, he's over. And then I love the line, that's just Viper code for Riddle is my new best friend. It was when he said like Orton said something about RK Bro. It was great. I want Orton to really, how do I say this? Fall in brotherly love with this guy.
Yeah.
And Orton starts for maybe, I can't remember, maybe the first time, it doesn't happen often, Orton starts to really care for this kid, take him under his wing. It's a little brother, and Riddle's going to have to turn on this guy.
Yes.
That's how it's got to go. This is a WrestleMania match if you do this right. And they don't break up until the Rumble or even a little after, somewhere in there. You set this for Mania with, and here's how it goes, an out-of-nowhere turn by Riddle.
Yes.
That's under your out-of-nowhere turn by Riddle. That's what I'll say on that. Great match.
Riddle does an Orton to Orton.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
I will say I was a little disappointed. I thought Dominic was going to turn tonight.
Yeah. And we'll get to that. But yes, they've been teasing it. So maybe they thought it was too obvious. Maybe they thought they had too much other stuff on here. I wonder about Almas and AJ at some point if they're going to break them up, because AJ loses all the time.
That's all he does.
Yeah, so I'm wondering what's up with that, if that is in the cards for anywhere anytime soon. Since you mentioned it, let's jump to it, just because the other tag team match, Usos against the Mysterios. Yeah, it did seem like they were going to break up.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Oh, it's okay.
I got a little sidetracked.
That's all good. Let's talk tags. Because do you really want to talk about Alexa and Eva right now? Yeah, so let's talk this one. Pretty good match. Lots of top rope action, which we expected. Lots of kicks. I wondered if I was watching a Young Bucks match there for a minute. Lots of super kicks and whatnot. But we did not get the breakup. And the Mysterios go down to the Usos, who keep the gold.
Right team won again. I don't know. I don't have much to say about this. Match was good. Right team won. Disappointed the Mysterios didn't break up. There's my notes. Yeah. It delivered, though. It was what I wanted to see the Bloodline keep the gold. They did. I got no problem with this match. I thought it was good. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes here.
Sure.
If they finally do break up. I would think it's got to be coming soon with everything they're doing. Now let's jump back. Second match of the night is what I just said. Alexa against Eva Marie with Doudrop. And I'll let you go, but I'm sitting here. When she grabbed Lily, Eva that is, and started slapping the doll, I wrote down, I may be watching the worst match ever here. I'm not positive. I know that's very lofty, but it's wasn't good.
Oh, and we keep saying it time and time again. This Bliss female fiend thing is just terrible. I'll leave it at that. Not sure about Eva yet, but this whole Eva and Doudrop thing is not good. I don't know what they're doing with Doudrop. They break up tonight. I'm supposed to care.
They break up like every week.
Yes. They've been fighting since they put this two together.
Right.
The angle is about a scary doll. You know, it just is not good. I don't know even what more to say about that. The match was terrible.
Right.
No
Bliss reaction
is working. No, Bliss is working terrible matches, and the girl is not that bad. Eva is a little sharp or bad in the ring. I was going to say something like that. Yeah, but we can work with it if you got. But the way that Bliss is supposed to wrestle with this gimmick, she can't help get people over or save the bad workers in the ring. Right. So yeah, bad match. Bad story. I just didn't like this one.
I'm not as much of a hater of Eva as everybody else. And when they brought her back a couple of months ago, you know, people just lost their mind that they brought this girl back. And I was like, she's not that bad. But I knew no matter what she did, no matter what, you could give her the greatest gimmick of all time. People were still going to dump on it. And somehow they gave her an even worse gimmick than all those people thought. Like, how could it even be worse than all these people were thinking? And Doudrop, I don't know anything about her. Apparently, she is super over overseas and whatnot. People seem to love her. But this whole thing just is dumb. It doesn't work. Yeah. Every week, Eva loses and Doudrop, they get into it. It's like, crap, or get off the pot here. What are we doing? Yep. And then when you put her in there with Alexa, it just, man, the crowd's chanting Eva sucks throughout the whole thing. I mean, it was not good at all.
No.
U.S. Championship, Damian Priest wins his first title. He takes out Sheamus. And, he's a champ for the first time on the main roster, Nick.
Couldn't care less again about this match. I'm sorry, guys. I don't hate either one of these guys. I think they both can be used. Sheamus, I liked him in the bar. I'm not a huge Sheamus fan, but I thought him and Cesaro worked. Damian Priest is a big dude. He's got the look. He struggled in there tonight, though. This match did not flow well.
I think he got hurt for real.
But I was going to say that flip over the top. He took a stinger on there, and that wasn't the only missed one. There was another botch in there too. I forget exactly where it was. The end wasn't bad. Him ripping off the mask, and Sheamus is now worried about his nose. I mean, okay, it's storyline that works for me. The fans were dead throughout this match. Like, no one seemed to care. You just haven't built Damian Priest enough that I care about him.
I don't know what he is. Apparently he was like a club guy or something in NXT, but when I look at him, I'm like, that doesn't seem like a guy who'd be like a club owner or something. Like, I don't know what his gimmick. He seems fine. I just don't, I'm not invested in him. Nope. But yeah, when he did the Air Jordan over the top, he kind of buckled because he landed on his hip side of his back and his body just kind of snapped. It didn't look good. I mean, he made it through the rest of the match, but you could tell he was a little slow.
The match was not flowing well. I mean, I don't know if that was the reason,
right?
But the match was not flowing well. It was. I didn't think it was a very good match at all.
Yeah. Let's skip the next couple. They did announce, you mentioned it earlier, right after the Bianca Becky fiasco. This made everybody online who seems to be, mad about everything. They announced Crown Jewel right after that. So that got everybody bent out of shape even more. Just wanted to throw that in there. And that's followed by Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal. This build was another tough one. And, Nick, I was telling the buddy I was watching this with, when we did our Money in the Bank show, we got done and we were like, dude, SummerSlam could be really, really good. This could be an awesome SummerSlam. Holy cow, man. And we're going through the matches, and we're like, this is going to be good. But the build to all these matches wasn't very good.
It wasn't.
And
it didn't live up.
This one is kind of why I bring that up, because of the build to this match. These are two 3-man band members.
Drew McIntyre.
The ultimate job guys. And they both went on to win world championships. And this turned into fighting over stealing a sword and stealing a motorcycle instead of maybe some background on the coming up and breaking up and getting back. And, and we're talking about swords and motorcycles here. The match was short and sweet. Crowd was kind of dead. Drew wins. Anything on the match itself?
I'm with you. It could have been something like each of you, you're both guys could have said the same thing. You're standing in my way of getting back to where I need to be. Simple, short, sweet, not a sword. The match was just a match. I found it very uneventful. Drew needed the win, but I at this point, you got to assume Jinder Mahal is 1991, 1992 Rick the Model Martel, right? He's just a low mid-card guy who's going to, beat jobbers, occasionally beat C wrestlers, but he's not beating B and A guys at this point, I don't think.
You wouldn't think.
And I don't hate him. I liked him with his gimmick. I liked him as world champion. I thought they gave it to him too fast. He got jobber to champion in literally like 48 hours or whatever the hell it was. But yeah, just a match. It was fine. I think Drew, if you have to pick one of these guys to like rebound, I'm going with Drew.
Right.
So the right guy won. Just a match that was uneventful.
Yeah, I'm with you. I never hated Jinder as much as everybody else did. Did I think he was great? No, but I didn't mind him. I like his music. I like his entrance. I think that's sweet. He's obviously got the look. I don't think he's as bad as everybody always thought. But yes, he hadn't won, and I don't remember what it is, but he hadn't won a match on TV for something like 54 months or so. Like, it was some insane number. I don't think it was 54, but it was like over a year, 2 years, he hadn't won. And then he wins the world title.
I know.
It was strange. Women's triple threat Raw championship is on the line here. It's Charlotte, it's Nikki ASH, and it is Rhea Ripley. Crowd was dead early here, Nick, which was maybe the case for a lot of matches tonight.
Yeah.
But they did get the crowd back. They had some pretty sweet moves, a lot of high-risk moves. They got the crowd back into this one. Charlotte, once again, is your women's champion, Nick.
She's going to be a 75-time champion before she retires, man. Like, this is just ridiculous, man. Like, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I did kind of want her to win because I don't like the other two people.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm not saying Rhea Ripley is terrible as an in-ring performer or you can't use her. I just don't like this gimmick. And I think I'm seeing what they're seeing backstage because this seemed to be like the end for her. They put the title. I mean, she's had two kind of chances. She shows up out of nowhere a couple years back, year and a half ago or whatever, and debuts and goes into WrestleMania. They don't put the belt on her, though. She loses. And then
she had it, and then she lost it, yeah.
And then she disappears. She comes back, gets the belt this time, feuds with one person since WrestleMania, really, Charlotte Flair.
And loses.
Then loses back to Charlotte Flair, and now she loses this triple threat match. She's seemingly done, I guess, now. I don't know what you do with her, and it's it for Nikki ASH. How are you almost a superhero and you tap out? Superheroes don't tap out. Right. I mean,
this is like the fourth time she's been beaten too since she won the belt.
I can see her gimmick fading again. You just put the title belt on someone that's going to be a glorified jobber in a month or two, I think.
Yeah, well, and she's been booed out of every building.
Yep.
My friends that went to the house show in Detroit told me they literally booed the entire match. And I heard reports from down south, too, in Charlotte, and I can't remember the other city. Same thing. They booed her out of the building. Yep. So we'll see what happens there. My whole thing with this is, and I know you got to do things and whatnot, but, like, what was the point of everything they did? Again, the build to this match. All they did was just have the three of them beat each other every week. I mean, this is, you hear about 50-50 booking, but this is like an insane amount of 50-50 booking.
Yeah.
Only just to put the belt back on Charlotte. So what did we do all this for? Like, what was the point of doing all of this if you're just going to put the belt back on Charlotte a month later? It was a lot for nothing. So Charlotte's the champ again, and I don't know what number she is because I believe they took her NXT. They don't count now. So I think she's a 12-time champ.
Well, she got
now.
2 back because she won it, lost it to Nikki, and now won it back. So she got the 2 she lost right back.
Yeah, so she's the champ. Now it's going to be interesting to see where they go with her because they don't have a lot of women on that Raw roster. So they put challenge.
I mean, the biggest male draw is Roman. The biggest female, what you would have thought would be Becky coming back. They're both on the other show,
right?
I mean, what do you do with Charlotte? Who does she fight on Raw now? I guess tune in tomorrow on Monday and find out.
Absolutely. So now we get to what a lot of people believe was the match of the night. It is Seth. Many people thought it was gonna be too going in. Seth taking on Edge. This one begins, we got it teased the other night with the brood bath coming down on Seth. And what happens here? The Brood's music hits, and we get flashback 25 years or whatever it was to 1998. We get the Brood entrance for Edge, which was pretty cool, a little nostalgic. And they say he needed to get to this place. He needed to get to that evil place again.
Oh, yeah.
But then he only does it for 16 steps and goes right back into his old music. So anyway, very good match. Another one started slow. It took them time to get going, but by the end, they had the place, man. And everything I'm reading online, people seem to think this was a great, great match, Nick.
I thought it was awesome. I thought the original angle was better where Seth and they were just comparing stats. Like I cashed in, you cashed in. Why did you bring the Brood? And I'm just going to say this. Seth should have been excited when he heard the Brood music hit because it's the worst part of that dude's freaking career, man. It would be like if Roman's fighting The Rock at WrestleMania and then Rocky Maivia freaking comes out. Like, I mean, it was terrible. People have this idea.
People did like his entrance, though. They liked the entrance.
I thought it was a cheap pop. I get it. But that was a terrible angle. It was a terrible gimmick. Gangrel was awful. The Brood was terrible. But I'm glad they didn't go into it. It was just a quick, thing on SmackDown. You got a cool entrance at the show. They got going off. This match delivered. And I wanted to say this, and I wrote this down. This is a great match, and I think this match should really be looked at as match of the year I don't know if it's going to win it, but here's what I wrote down. Edge is 47 years old. He's been gone for 10 years. He's a part-timer. He's not wrestling all the time. Triple H and many others have been on record saying when you're not out there constantly, it is extremely hard to stay in 5-star, even 4-star shape, and put on that match. And he has had what should have been a career-ending injury. It was a great match if you take all that into consideration, man. Him and Rollins delivered. I had no clue who was winning, especially after the corkscrew into a spear and then a kick out. That was super cool. Rollins' face, I'll give it to him. I loved his face right when he broke out of the thing, and then right before Edge was going to smash his face in there, Rollins was like, looking at the ground. It reminded me, I don't know, maybe Ash from Evil Dead, his face when he always got scared out there. I thought it was great. I don't know that I like him submitting, but, it's okay. Edge maybe needed the win. I would like to see this go one more, and I would like to see Rollins beat him because I think Rollins is your future. I am a fan of the faces should win the feuds, except with part-timers. This guy, I think Rollins needs a win over him. I think they're both good enough to carry one more pay-per-view match, and I think it would really help Rollins to get a win over this guy.
Okay. I'm going to be the exact opposite with you. I like the Brood entrance. I just but why'd you stop halfway down the aisle? Anyway, thought the match was good. It reminded me, and it was set up like HBK Taker at WrestleMania 25. They would be in a hold or something. Then they'd be a massive move. 1, 2, kick out. Zoom in on the guy's face. I can't believe he kicked out. Then they take 5 minutes to get up. Massive move. 1, 2, kick out. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he kicked out again. It was very much taken after that WrestleMania 25 match, which most people think is one of the greatest matches ever. So obviously it's not bad. I just don't like seeing that all the time. But no, it was a very good match. And everything you said about Edge, he's delivering. Because your body isn't used to, if you're not taking bumps, your back doesn't get calloused up and you're not used to it. So
I think people should take that into consideration because it's not the last time I'm going to say something like this on this card because he's old, man. He's older than his age because of what he's went through. Right. And for him to come back, and I get the way it may have been written that you might not like, but he did a good freaking job. Absolutely. For him, and they delivered. I was really, and I think most people are going to be happy with this match.
Yeah. Oh, dude, people love it, man. And I don't hate it. I wouldn't put it match of the year category, but I don't know if it will get in there.
I'm taking all that into consideration. I just think it should be remembered. He did it 47 years old, 10 years retired, part-timer. that horrible injury. I'm freaking impressed.
He is over, dude. Like every show he has been on this year, not even going back to the pop at Rumble last year, this year's Rumble, this year's Mania, every time he is out, place goes bonkers, man. This guy is over, and I'm glad he won. He needed that, especially after Roman kind of, stacked him and all that kind of stuff. So.
Right, and beat him at Money in the Bank. Yep. And I think he's so over. If you use this guy right, use him sparingly, keep him in there with people that he can work well with, he can finish this run off, flip heel, and we can do the whole dang thing again, man, because Edge is good, man. He is a legend. I don't know where I've got him, but I would bet it's probably somewhere in the top 30, maybe 40. I don't know. I'd have to look because it's hard to say. He's awesome.
Yep. Can't disagree with that. And I love Seth too. And I wonder where they go with him, because some were wondering before Brock came back, okay, does Seth, because they teased it a little bit there a few months ago, is Seth going to go with Roman here? And obviously he would have needed a win and no Brock showing back up. But so I wonder where he's kind of going here. Obviously his girl's back, so she's going to start wrestling. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Before we get to our last match, Miz and Morrison come out. They are driving some kind of water truck because, they're the drip boys or whatever they are. And the moist towelettes. The moist towelettes come out. And they got the drip stick 2000. Where is it? Well, I thought you had it. Well, then Xavier Woods comes out with the Drip Stick 2000, which happens to be a giant tub of water on his back with a huge, gun. How did neither one of them notice the other guy didn't have it? It's this giant contraption. What, did he think he had it in his pocket? What? Well, I thought you had it. How do you miss it? Anyway. Xavier Woods comes out with it. It's not a squirt gun, it's in your pocket. My gosh. Woods comes out, and for some reason, he is dressed like Scott Hall.
Hey, yo.
He's got the razor blades. He's got New Day written on his butt in NWO font, and he's got the razor blades. He's got the hair, the Scott Hall hair.
Ironically, did you see the NWO Wolfpack flag that went up in the back? And if you looked around, there were a lot. I don't say a lot. There were a spitting of black and white NWO shirts all over there. I didn't see a lot of Four Horsemen.
I'll take care of horseman business.
No, you didn't. And he's talking like Scott Hall. He's using all Scott Hall's lines, and then he drills them with water guns. These guys have done one or two things that I think are somewhat funny, but they got hit with a squirt gun.
Oh, pinch you so hard.
And acted like it was fire or something coming out of there. They couldn't. I'm so over the spraying and the guy can't get up and he bobbles around. I mean, granted, I get it. It was funny when they did it the one time and Vince is swimming on the ground. I get it. Hey, now we've seen it. And I called this the not needed part of the show. Your show already went till freaking midnight, 4 freaking hours, even a little bit more if you count the match on the pre-show. Just not needed. And they have the Miz and the Morrison, like you said, they get something funny. And I did think when Johnny started doing the moist and the drip stick and all this, it was funny. But here's WWE overusing it down your throat. Here, you think this is funny? Well, here every week, right to you. Not needed is all I'll say.
Yeah, it reminded me very much of WrestleMania 6 when Rhythm and Blues was playing their concert and the Bushwhackers came out dressed as concession people and just beat them up, Right. This may have been worse. I'm not sure, but anyway.
I think this was worse.
And I didn't understand. I mean, shout out to Scott Hall, man. I love Scott Hall, but why did he come out dressed like Scott Hall?
I thought when he said something like, hey, I thought Scott Hall was coming. I'm like, is Hall here? And for what freaking reason? You know, I mean, but yeah, it was weird. I'm still confused on it. I
There
guess
you go again, Nick. It's like the Becky thing. You toyed with my emotions. Like, why would he be doing this? Oh, Scott Hall must be here.
Is Andre really your dad, Lynch?
And then he's not. So I'm just like scratching my head. Anyway, shout out to Scott, though.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Okay, so we did the main event. So our last match will be they went back-to-back title matches to close the show. They don't normally do that. And this is another one that had people scratching their head tonight. Bobby Lashley, the champ, taking on Goldberg. Both guys got cheered when they came out. Bill starts this match, Nick, doing his power moves. He's in control early in the match, and they start booing. And then everything kind of goes downhill from there. Take over, man. Lashley wins by referee stoppage.
People are going to disagree with me. I didn't hate this. I texted you before. You said it's going to be a 2-minute match. I sent you one right back that said, man, if they can just put together an 8-minute match, they're going to shock some people, you know. And I thought they gave us a decent match because here's why. I'm looking at it. And you're not going to want to hear this. I think we're getting Goldberg and his son versus Lashley and MVP at Crown Jewel.
Oh can they legally do that? It's like
they like Goldberg. Goldberg goes to Crown freaking Jewel every time, doesn't he? I mean, he's been. So I'm thinking we're getting either a rematch or the kid will be in the corner. I'm scared the kid's going to be in the ring or something, but. The match ending was different. I guess that's what I was looking at. I was not sure I wanted to see this, but I don't think it hurt Lashley. He still wins. He gets out of there. I guess you're just setting. I don't like the fact that they're setting up, I think, another match just for Crown Jewel. Because SummerSlam to me is like WrestleMania. It should be the culmination of a feud, not the just transition or intermission of the feud or midway point. But I think that's where they're going. It was different. That I'm not going to say it was great. I just didn't hate it. It was definitely different. Everybody, myself included, I think we thought we'd see a squash 2-minute match. Goldberg comes out, hits his spear. And for all the people, I will say this, we've been complaining that we don't want to see that. So they did give us something different. We may not like the different, not saying the difference good, but they did. Everybody was going to complain if they did the same Goldberg match that we had seen with The Fiend, that we had seen with Kevin Owens, that we had seen with Drew McIntyre or whoever else he's freaking fought. They gave you something different. You may not like it, but that's what I'll give them. And they're obviously setting up, I believe, Crown Jewel.
Yeah, they're going to fight again. There's no doubt. The problem, and I think you can continue angles. I wouldn't do it with every single match, but I think you can continue angles at SummerSlam. The problem here is they're continuing it with a guy that not a lot of people want to see in Goldberg. So that's I thought Lesnar was going to come out here. I thought this was where he's beating up the kid, he's beating up Goldberg, and I don't know why Lesnar would care about Goldberg, but I was like, all right, somebody's got to come out here and save Goldberg. And I thought maybe if it was going to happen, it'd be there. And that way you get your Lashley Lesnar match that people have wanted to see for years.
Right.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I don't have a problem with them stopping the match due to injury, but it just was like, where are we? It came out of nowhere, and it just seemed like it was dragging on, and then he beats up the kid, and I'm just like, okay, I would have just rather have Lashley beat him.
Me too. Me too. They could have just went 8 minutes and Lashley beat him, but that's I agree. That would have been better. But I understand where they're going. They're setting up the next match. I mean, and I'm not saying that's going to be good that we want to see. I'm just trying to accept what they're setting up.
Well, they made Lashley, beating up a kid doesn't make you look tough, but that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to make him look like he doesn't give a crap. Right. He's a killer.
And he's a horrible, horrible person, too, that will kill you if you cross him. And because the kid, in his defense, and you're going to hear it on Monday, he hit him first. I mean, he came out there and stuck his nose. The kid got involved and touched Lashley first.
Right.
You know, and I mean, for anybody, Lashley is going to argue I was just defending myself.
Yeah. I thought it was clunky. Like it didn't flow right.
Oh God, no.
And not the match. Well, the match was, but I mean, the finish was kind of clunky. Like
it was weird.
It was just kind of weird. But the match was definitely clunky. And when MVP hits Goldberg in the back of the leg with the cane, like Goldberg forgot to sell for a second. Like he takes 2 steps and then he's like, oh wow. And
right. I just tried to tick in my head like maybe he just irritated it and then Lashley went to work on it. You know, right. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here.
Well, and I do think it works where it saves Goldberg a little bit. Like, okay, you took out his leg. He cannot fight. You know, he didn't quit. He didn't do anything. They made him stop. Right. I think that holds you a little bit. I just think there's a lot of people that don't want to see this guy anymore.
I agree. I'm not sure. I disagree with them. I don't think he's really benefiting people anymore because so many dudes have beat him.
Yeah, he loses all the time.
Yeah, so now you've got Lashley's beat him. Roman, does Roman have a win over this guy? I think he does.
They were supposed to fight at Mania last year. Braun Strowman then came in and beat him.
Okay, so Braun has a win over him. McIntyre, you said right, has a win over this guy. The Undertaker has beat this guy. You know, he's just got a lot of losses, man. Lesnar took him down at the end. He's almost been 50-50 since he's made his return. If that, maybe not even. I don't know.
No, and people want to remember that he beat The Fiend and he beat Kevin Owens, but, he loses every other match.
Right.
So, and I believe however many in a row, he's had nothing but world title matches, and he loses all of them. So it's going to be interesting. Nick, scale to 1 to 10, man, I don't know what you say for this pay-per-view because, man, they had some moments, but I'm not sure they cashed in on them exactly the way they should have. So, man, it's very tough. Where do you place this thing?
If I have to grade it on a teacher scale, B-. I don't hate it. I really don't. I was more excited coming out of Money in the Bank. Thought it was going to be a possible legendary SummerSlam. We didn't get that. But I think we can all walk away and say it's not anywhere near one of the worst SummerSlams. So there have been some freaking bad ones. So B-.
Yeah, I can't put it above a C only because I think you blew a massive moment.
You did.
And I think going to your teacher scale, you got to grade that one on a curve. That one brings you down a little bit more. I do like the finish, though. Roman won clean. And then you got the surprise Lesnar at the end. So we always say, hey, the end can change some things. The end very much made me go, okay.
I want to watch Smack. I mean, just the same way Punk left me for the first time in a year really wanting to watch AEW Dynamite Wednesday.
Yep.
Roman has left me and Brock. I want to watch SmackDown. Yep. I want to see where they go with this thing.
Yep.
Yep.
I would say, obviously, Edge, Seth is the match of the night. That's a very good match.
Great match.
The tag matches were good, Mac, but I could take them or leave them. The final match, I think, is good, too. So, 2 pretty good matches here and a good finish. But, yeah, again, there is some bad here.
Yeah,
I'm not as high on the Goldberg-Bobby as you were, although it is somewhat interesting. And then Becky just, they Kofi'd freaking Bianca, man.
I am so sorry for that girl. Like, what the hell, man? There was something there too. The girl was, it was a slow climb. It wasn't, and I'm not saying she's going to turn into, Becky Lynch is height or what, Becky Lynch's appeal, but maybe. I guess we're not going to know freaking now.
Well, and they did. Obviously, they had to change plans here. For whatever reason, they had to change plans at the last minute, and they didn't completely think the whole thing through. But we will see where that goes as well, because that'll be interesting on Friday too. Mm-hmm. Anything else on the show, Nick?
No, I think we covered pretty much what good. I don't think I wrote down any additional notes on here. Yeah, like I said, I'm semi excited. I mean, more than usual for this week of wrestling. I want to see RK Bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with that. I forgot. Yeah, I like them, man.
At least there's something on each show. I mean all three, from Dynamite, Raw, SmackDown. I want to watch each show now. There's a couple things I want to see.
Well, the wrestling world sure did heat up a little bit. Mm-hmm. This past 2 nights, man. CM Punk back on the other channel, and then we get Becky and Brock back here. There is a whole lot of people excited for the next few weeks, man. It should be.
Is Cena done? I mean, are we going to get more of Cena? I don't know.
I think he is advertised for some shows in September. I think he's advertised for the MSG show. So we'll see.
Maybe Finn Balor, like you said, you didn't get the job done. You stole my spot. Yeah. I could have got the job done. Maybe he puts over Finn Balor.
And how big would that be? If he did, that would be big for that guy, man. To have
huge.
John Cena
biggest win of his career.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. To have John Cena put you over, man, that would be big time, dude. Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. We got more wrestling to watch, though. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, twice. Should be fun, though, man.
Yeah. Yeah, God bless the DVR. Otherwise, I don't know how we do it.
Yeah, I know, dude. No question, man. No question. Well, thanks, Nick, for always being here. Thanks for staying up way late tonight, because this show went long. Thanks to you guys for always watching and everything. Again, if you haven't done it, please hit subscribe, hit like on the thing. If you got something to say, hit us up. Let us know in the comments what we missed, what you liked, what you didn't. We appreciate everything, guys. Take care. We will see you again soon.
Pleasure's all yours, Bucky boys.